Protecting personal and academic student data in cloud-based learning management systems. No, this is going to be a data governance framework for online K-12 schools. This framework can be used because students are sharing personal data, parents are sharing data, and it's important that we protect that data. No, protecting personal and academic student data in cloud-based learning management systems. This is a research that was done. No, I'm going to be looking at this data governance framework for online K-12 schools. Central thesis is that online K-12 schools, they can better protect students' personal and academic information by implementing a formal data governance framework that combines access controls, multi-factor authentication, data retention rules, vendor oversight, staff training, transparent privacy notices, and incident response procedures. Now, the bottom line up front is that student data protection, it requires more than just cybersecurity. The problem is that online schools, they are storing valuable personal, academic, and behavioral information that can be exposed through stolen credentials, excessive access, weak security practices, or even through third-party applications. The gap is that technology controls alone cannot solve the problem. Schools need clear policies, assigned responsibilities, vendor oversight, employee training, and transparent communication to make this work. The solution that we're proposing is a formal data governance framework that will manage student data throughout its entire life cycle, from collection through to secure deletion. Now, overview and background. Cloud learning systems, they collect more than just grades. Personal data will be collected, such as full names and date of birth, home addresses, and parent contact information, student identification numbers, login credentials, demographic information, even disability or accommodation information. Now, for academic and behavioral data, this is also collected. Grades and assessment results are collected. Attendance and disciplinary records are collected. Submitted assignments and teacher feedback, it's collected too. Learning progress and performance predictions, as well as login times, click searches, and online activity. No, this is the data governance problem. Student information moves across a connected digital environment. So from student data flow, it will flow to the school LMS, primary source of course activity, student information systems, official student records, video conferencing, live class interactions, assessment tools, where grades and evaluation data, as well as third-party vendors. These would be external edtech services, as well as cloud storage, which would be long-term data retention. Technology and governance concepts. A complete framework combines people, policies, processes, and technology. Now, for the data ownership, we want to identify who is accountable for each category of student information, role-based access to give employees access only to the information required for their specific jobs, multi-factor authentication, where we require an additional verification step for all sensitive systems, data minimization, where we collect only the information necessary for an educational purpose, and we need retention and deletion, where we establish how long records are stored and securely remove them when they are no longer needed, and to audit the logs, where we record who accessed, changed, downloaded, or shared the student data. Now, the major threats that we have to student data. Schools face both external attacks and internal governance failures. External threats could be stolen or weak passwords, phishing attacks against teachers and administrators, ransomware and other cyber attacks, or even outdated software and unpatched systems. For internal governance failures, we have employees accessing more information than necessary, accidental sharing of students' records, lost or unsecured devices, failure to delete old records, lack of staff cybersecurity training, or even inadequate incident response planning. No, third-party vendor governance. The school remains responsible when vendors handle student data. Before approving any LMS plugin or educational application, A school must ask what and why. What information will the vendor collect and why is it necessary? Number two, where and who. Where will information be stored? Who can access it and will it be shared with additional companies? Retention and deletion. How long will the vendor retain data and how will it be deleted when the contract ends? Breach and audit. How quickly must the vendor report breach and can the school audit the vendor's compliance? Transparency and student trust. Trust depends on giving students and families meaningful information. So we need to acknowledge the trust gap. Students may trust their schools while still feeling they have little control over their data. Privacy expectations differ among individuals, communities, and countries. We also need to communicate clearly. Schools should provide privacy notices in clear, understandable language, explaining what information is collected, why, how is it used, shared, retained, and deleted. We also need to empower families where appropriate. Families should be informed about their available privacy choices. Privacy is not achieved by posting a long policy that families cannot understand. So we have to demonstrate to families how it is that their privacy will be treated. Nor recommend data governance framework. Online schools should govern student data throughout its life cycle. Now we want to discover, create an inventory of all systems, applications, vendors, and student data categories, classify and assign, label information by sensitivity, designate data owners, admins, and decision makers, protect and monitor, apply role-based access, MFA, encryption, backups, audits, logs, and review access records daily or regularly. No, we need to retain and delete, establish written retention schedules, securely remove unnecessary information from all systems. We also need to respond and educate, maintain the test breach response plan, train the employees, students, and parents on privacy responsibilities. No, this is how this applies to Western STEM Academy. This research can improve real-world school operations such as Western STEM Academy and other online schools. Now, for inventory and access, we want to create an inventory of every platform used, separate access permissions for administrators, teachers, parents, and students, and require multi-factor authorization for all administrative accounts. Retention and vendor review, we develop rules for storing report cards, attendance, assessment, and parent information. Review vendor privacy and security practices before adopting new applications. Offboarding and incident response. Remove access promptly when teachers or contractors leave. Establish procedures for reporting lost devices, suspicious emails, or unauthorized access, as well as family communication. Give parents clear explanation of how their children's information is collected and protected, connecting stronger governance to family trust and accountability. Now, research findings, the source point to four major findings. Finding one, cybersecurity controls must be supported by policies, training, and clearly assigned responsibility. Finding two, privacy requirements should be established before a cloud system is implemented, not after. For finding three, third-party tools can create hidden data flows that schools may not adequately govern. And finding four, students' trust does not eliminate the need for transparency, communication, and effective individual control. Now, effective student data governance requires schools to understand the complete data government or the data environment, including the employees, the systems, the vendors, the policies, and the families. No, what I learned is that data governance is an organizational responsibility beyond the main platform. Student information can travel beyond the main learning platform through plugins and third-party services, often without clear school awareness. Security doesn't equal to privacy. Security and privacy are related but different. Security protects information while privacy governs whether and how it should be used or collected in the first place. Trust is not permission. Student trust should not be treated as permission to collect unlimited information. Transparency and individual control remain essential even when trust exists. Real world application, I can apply this knowledge, or we will apply this knowledge to Western STEM Academy by reviewing our systems and establishing clearer access, retention, vendor, and communication policies. These references were used to carry out this research. This research was actually done for my Master's of Business Administration program, and it was highly commended and encouraged to be published by our professor. And we scored 100% for this research. So this is my research. I want you to go ahead, leave a comment, and subscribe and share as well. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.